Hello, friend. How are you? I wanted to wish you a beautifully significant, joyous, intuitive, magical, mystical full moon in Pisces. It's certainly one of my favorite lunations of the year, and it happens to be a blue moon, once in a blue moon, which means that we have two full moons in one cycle in one calendar month. We had a full moon right at the beginning of August, and now we're finalizing the month with another blue moon, another full moon, hence the blue moon. It's also a super full moon, which means that the moon is really close to the earth. And it's in the sign of Pisces, which is the sign of magic and mysticism and the unknown and the what's beyond what we can see and feel in the here and now. And one of the things that I love about the practice that I have and how I guide my life and how I like to support others in figuring out their spiritual path is to really align their spirituality, their divinity with their humanity, with what you do here and now. And while we have the sun in Virgo, which is the sign of here, very earthy, very pragmatic, very much about the day-to-day, also has to do with healing and health and the sense of purity of spirit, of really like the basics, and then contrasted with this full moon in Pisces. It's just like that balance of who you are right here and in this moment in the flesh, and what your spirit wants to sing through you. I wanted to light a candle for us, so I'm going to go ahead and light a candle. And may this flame, may this candle and this flame represent all that we wish to release in this full moon, all the parts of us that are ready to be honored and let go. And may it illuminate a new layer of intuitive abilities for you, and how you combine your sense of intuition with how you live your life, how you make decisions, how you create projects, how you do what you do. And that, to me, right there is where the magic really happens. So may this full moon really illuminate a part of you that feels, may you give yourself more permission to really to tap in and to do what I call I know I go, which is that you know what your intuition, what your gut, what your spirit says, and you move in that direction. You go, you take the step. More and more I find that that is the place where we shift our reality. When you make the conscious choices to decide a certain direction, a certain thing to do, you take actions from a place of vision, not circumstance, but you take the actions. In my last email, I talked about this idea of getting really honest with ourselves and what is the illusion versus the reality. Because dreaming and envisioning and all that stuff is really beautiful and very important to prime our spirit for like what we want to call in and to be able to visualize it and see it happen. And also, we can't just leave that in the realm of the I wish. I've been saying this phrase for years, which is like, don't let your journal be the place where your dreams go to die, where your ideas just end up and never see the light of day. It's time to take all of those, well, not all of those, but to take a couple of those gems, because if you're anything like me, you have a lot of dreams and goals and ideas in your journals, but it's time to take one or two of those and really step into, like, ask, what is the version of me that wants to emerge that will make that so? And to begin to experiment with steps in that direction, because that's what will alchemize your sense of courage and trust in yourself is that stepping forward, and then that builds the momentum that you need to keep going and to experiment. Life is a laboratory and you get to experiment, but you must experiment. You must you must get some tangible things going, and I hope this inspires you to do that. And if you are looking for some support in that direction, I am putting together a group of us who are going to, over a period of 10 weeks, basically go on like a creation sprint. We're going to identify something you want to work on in any area of your life, really. And we're going to go week by week, and using the moon cycle as well to carve out and create a path for you, a really focused direction of checkpoints. We're going to use the energy of Artemis. She is a goddess of the hunt. She's a goddess of focus. We're going to basically identify the arrow that we want to shoot, and we're going to shoot it, and we're going to watch that arrow progress moment by moment, checkpoint by checkpoint, stretching yourself along the way and making the thing happen so that by the end of the 10 weeks together, you have a tangible body of some work. And again, this could be in the realm of having to do with business building, or it could be health and wellness, or it could be creativity, it could be writing, art. I think the only prerequisite is that it has to be something that you've been sitting on, some dream or goal that you've been sitting on, that you want to work it through in a space where you're going to get inspired and motivated to keep going and to not sit in overwhelm and procrastination. And I'm really good at creating that path. It's something I've noticed I've been able to help a lot of people do over the course of my time as a coach, and now of course weaving in so much more of the spirituality and the astrology and the cosmic information. It just amplifies what we do. And my thinking is that instead of waiting for next year to do the thing, why don't we finish off this year feeling really good about what we're creating, at least with one thing, and then start the year off with that momentum. It's going to bridge us into 2024. And I'm going to help you get started in 2024 with your word of the year, with a clear vision of what you want to work towards, how you want to grow and expand, and also based on the information that you have, your soul information that's in your chart as a blueprint. So it's going to be a group experience, and if you're curious, I'd love to chat with you to see if it's something that would support you, and we can figure out what that looks like. But I'm really excited to make that happen. It's basically like a Creatrix laboratory, and I think there's a lot of really good momentum that could be generated, especially when you're in a space where you're feeling supported and stretched just a little bit further, because then you have that backing and the belief of, yes, I can do this. It's something that really helps me when I have a set of checkpoints and goals, and when I have like a deadline for certain things, to do certain things, it works wonders, and it gets me out of my head and into like, all right, let's actually do this and see what's possible without the self-imposed judgment that we might be used to because we have to do things a certain way. It's really fascinating when we actually step into the momentum of doing it, and then showing yourself. And then you're like, oh wow, it's actually happening, and that fuels you. And then whatever pit stops or challenges you hit along the way, I'll be there to coach you through them, because that point itself is a huge growth point as well. And it might be the point where you're used to like stopping. We're gonna get you through that hump, and then it'll create like my sort of deeper spiritual intention is to really help you recalibrate your system, so that next time you're going to start a new project or follow through on something, you've already kind of rewired that piece of you that says, yes, I know I can do this, and let me make it happen. And where do I focus in, and where do I become more flexible, and where do I kind of like amp up the fuel, and where do I just release a little bit, the gas pedal. It's that constant motion while life is happening around me. Like, you know, we're not living in a bubble. It'd be really nice to go into some beautiful cabin in the woods to make all of these beautiful projects happen, but we got life, and life is beautiful, and we will honor that and where you are, and also where you desire, what else you desire to weave into your life. Create space for that, because yes, you can do it now, whatever it is that you're thinking. Pretty much whatever it is, I'm almost certain we can find a way for you to weave it into your life. It takes some shifts in perspective at times, and it takes some releasing of certain things and reclaiming others, and it takes some, you know, it's gonna take some work on your part. It always does. But oh my goodness, does it feel good to think 2-3 months into the future, I will have done this, I will have accomplished this, I will have released this, I will have made this happen. It will fuel you for 2024 like you have no idea, and it'll make for a really fun rest of your year. So if you're curious about working with me in that capacity, I'll leave a link so we can chat and just have a conversation about where you are and what's possible for you specifically. So with all that said, I wish you a magnificent full moon in Pisces, my friend, and a beautiful rest of the week. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.